Well, Deb Murphy filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. The Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan showed up at Tuesday's Inyo County Board of Supervisors meeting in a big box. Now, scaled down from the 8,000-page draft, the final environmental impact statement, 2,000 plus pages, whittled down the acreage identified as development focus areas for renewable energy to 388,000 acres out of the 10 million acres of Bureau of Land Management land within the scope of the report. But the county directed Planning Director Josh Hart to come up with a mildly worded protest that, according to Hart and Inyo County Administrative Officer Kevin Caruncio, will keep the county in the discussion. Now, there were some small variations from the county's Renewable Energy General Plan amendment and a vague new land classification, unallocated lands. Now, in the draft, the land masses now ID'd as unallocated were just white. Now they're white with lines through them, creating a bit of a mystery. Hart explained that those areas could be considered for development, but would require amendments to the EIR. Now, a pie chart illustrating land designations was identified as conservation lands. Chairman Matt Kingsley questions why no socioeconomic analysis was done on the conservation category. Also, while the town of Mammoth Lakes and Bishop have been scrambling to meet the March 1st deadline to beat state regulations on medical marijuana, Inyo County opted for a wait-and-see strategy based on information from Paul Smith, senior legislative advocate for rural county representatives of California. Now, according to Hart, Smith advised his constituents that there would be corrective legislation to the 3 medical marijuana bills passed in Sacramento in October. Now, the correction Smith anticipated would remove that deadline and allow cities and counties to pass their own ordinances that would override state regulations after March 1st. Now, Hart outlined the nuances of Assembly Bills 266, 243, and Senate Bill 643 that define complex structures for regulating and licensing medical marijuana, but implementation is still up in the air. By waiting, the county can decide if it wants to impose other restrictions on cultivation, dispensaries, and delivery. Now, the conventional wisdom is these regulations will be in place as the framework for recreational use, a when, not if legalization by ballot initiative. Now, Jeff Griffiths, Inyo County Supervisor, was the first and only supervisor who was supportive of loosening the county's ban on cultivation and sales. Let's look at what's actually going on, he said. I don't want to deny cultivation for those who use marijuana for medical reasons, and delivery makes more sense than dispensaries, end quote. Now, making the point that both activities are going on in the county, Griffiths was sustaining for the status quo. Dan Tothero and Rick Pucci, supervisors, were both glad for the reprieve, and Supervisor Mark Tillemans and Kingsley both wanted an opportunity to gauge the feeling of their constituents, and you can see that entire story by Deb Murphy on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, the Inyo National Forest issued a press release this morning saying winter recreationalists must plan their adventure considering the current conditions, the weather forecast, and the terrain and geography that will be traveled. Knowing what to expect will make your winter visit safer and much more enjoyable. That press release goes on to say that anyone who may be traveling in potential avalanche terrain is encouraged to seek education and training resources. Also, travel with a shovel, beacon, and probe, and have the knowledge required to use those tools. You can visit the Eastern Sierra Avalanche Center website for the most recent information on snowpack and conditions, and that's esavalanche.org. Now, the press release also said ice skating is popular as well, but recreationalists must carefully choose when they go onto the ice. Snow Lake is certain to be safe with an adequate ice depth. Now, even though it has been cold, the ice is not necessarily deep enough. Cooling and warming trends can affect the ice significantly. Recreationalists are responsible to assess their risk before going out onto the ice. Also, that press release says dress warmly for cold weather. Go figure. Including layers, wicking base layers, hats and gloves. Daytime temperatures can get warm with the sun and cool quickly in the evening. Now, as always, don't underestimate the weather in the eastern Sierra. Expect that weather conditions can change rapidly. Now, the Inyo National Forest requires that all dogs must be on a leash in all developed recreation sites, including groomed trails. Leaving pet waste behind on a groomed trail or in a developed recreation area is littering. Now, the press release notes, and again, this was issued this morning before the big storm coming our way. More snow is needed before the Shady Rest Nordic trails can be groomed. Additional snow accumulations needed to begin the grooming the snowmobile trail system. There is not enough, if any, on the snow on those trails as of our press time. Again, this press release issued this morning, and we are hoping for some significant snowfall this week. We'll have more in our weather report in a bit. Well, Spellbinder Books and Eye Care inviting everyone to the 16th annual Eye Care Shopping Day. That is set for this Saturday, December 12th. You purchase a $5 Eye Care donation ticket at Spellbinder Books. Do that from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then you receive 20% off. They got a great selection of books, greeting cards, calendars, assorted gifts. They're also going to have a drawing for some nice prizes, and your $5 donation goes directly to Eye Care and helps the Eastern Sierra's homeless pets in need. Proceeds from the event are going to Eye Care's Stitch Fund, which is a great program that helps injured or ill shelter animals with the cost of their veterinary care. I urge you to check out the website, eyecareforpets.org. Go to the Stitch Fund. They've done some wonderful things with some animals. Spellbinder Books, 124 South Main Street, Bishop. If you have any questions about the Eye Care Shopping Day this Saturday, you can call Lynn at Spellbinder at 760-873-4511. We'll be back with more news.